Alright, hey there gang, welcome to today's episode. Sean here, and today I'm going to need this, definitely. Because today we're going to talk about the evolution of pole saws to be exact, because I'm out here on the lot today. It is a beautiful February morning. It's only about 3 degrees below 0 Celsius. Lisa's at work. I'm out here. It's sunny, it's nice, and I need to get a little bit of work done today. And today we need to deal with, and you probably can't see it very well from this angle, but I'll show you a different angle here, a bunch of these dead tree limbs that are up in a bunch of these trees. Incredibly dangerous because they're dead, they snap off, especially in the high winds, any sort of ice or snowstorms, and you definitely don't want one of those falling on you, because they literally call them widowmakers. So today we're out here with the tractor. I'm going to do a little bit of lot cleanup, push some snowbanks back, but we're going to trim a bunch of limbs off of trees, and we're going to use one of my newest pieces of equipment that I've had. I've had it for a little bit. I've only used it like twice. So today we're going to give it a bit more of a test. But we just wanted to talk about, like I say, the evolution of pole saws. So my first pole saw was this. It's got lots of reach, but it's just a hand saw. And it's handy, it works well, but takes quite a bit of effort to get anything trimmed up. But nowadays, I've moved beyond that to this. This is the Husqvarna 525 PT5S, and it's a professional pole trimming saw. It's made by Husky, obviously. It's roughly just shy of 14 feet in length, and it is a little heavy. It does come with a harness, to be honest, but this morning I couldn't find the harness because I believe it's in the storage shed. So it does have a harness that clicks into this to be able to help you carry the weight a little bit more, but I think for what we're going to do today, it should be fine to be able to just use the way it is without the harness. So this is a 1.5 cubic inch engine. Like I say, it weighs just about 15.5 pounds in total. So, you know, it is heavy, especially when you're trying to control the end on it. It has, if you look here, kind of try and get an angle here. It's got a small bar on there, roughly, I think that's a 12-inch bar. And the oiler for the bar oil is right here on the end. Very easy to be able to telescope. All you do is loosen off this locking collar and it slides back in, so you can increase or decrease the length very easily on the fly. I always like to try and start it when it's in the lower mode because it's just easier to use. And really, this saw hasn't ran in probably 3 months now. So we're going to see how well it starts. So basically, very, very easily laid out saw. There's the stop kill switch there, throttle trigger underneath. That little blue thing is the choke. And you're literally primer ball, put the choke on. So first pull after probably, like I say, 2-3 months easily, probably even closer to 4 months since I've even started this, and I've only ever trimmed 2 branches with it so far. But because of the weather here recently, yesterday I had one of those branches almost fall on me, so I knew today was the day. Needed to get out here with this and get trimming. So I'm going to start it up, let it warm up a little bit, and then we're going to get into some cutting. Alright guys, so here we go. That constant buzzing like a swarm of bees you hear is actually my drone that I've put up in the air. Actually, you should be able to see from the footage now that I'm going to link here some of the branches that we're going to try and cut down because they're dead and they're hanging up there. So here we go, let's get at it. All right, as I always say, I'm no expert at any of these things, but I'm going to leave this clip in this video. Mainly because, as you can see, I just got hit in the head with a rather large branch as it was coming down. That's why I always preach about wearing safety equipment. And I know this might make me look foolish, but I don't care. It's better to you to learn from my mistake than you have this mistake. So basically what happens, if you watch that video, I'm trimming that branch there. It's a large branch. The end of it comes down and touches the ground, which makes a pivot point. So instead of it just falling straight down, I didn't realize that it was on the ground, and when I finally cut through at the base, it did this. And I was standing right in the way. And it caught me in the back of the head. Luckily, I was wearing the helmet, but I'll be honest, it rang my bell big time, and I've got one heck of a headache right now, and it could have been much worse, especially when using a power tool. So this is why I preach wear your safety equipment all the time. Learn from me and pay more attention when you're doing stuff like this. So I'm going to take a 2-minute break here. I'm going to fire that saw back up, and we're going to get back on the horse, as they say. And as I always say, let's see what we get into. All right, guys, time for take 2. This time, I'm going to pay a little bit more attention like I do when I'm falling a tree. To be honest, I think I just took it too lightly. And usually when I'm running a chainsaw and I'm falling a tree, I look for escape routes, I look for the angle of departure, when the tree's going to fall, all that sort of stuff. I should be doing that with this as well. So I'm going to stand off to the side of the limb when it's facing this way. I'll watch where it breaks down, and we'll go from there. Alright, so probably most smart YouTubers would just delete this footage and restart their video and just go on to the next thing. But that's not who I am. Lisa and I always try to be very transparent when we're doing these videos, and the fact that we're learning as we go. And although I consider myself to try to be very safety conscious, especially when using chainsaws, I underestimated this pole saw. I've only used it a couple times. The saw itself is easy to use, runs incredibly well. I guess on the point of the saw, the only thing that I find you do need to do is you need to rev the saw up before you put the bar down, the chain down on the branch, so that it doesn't grab. So you need to get the RPMs up and then drop it down onto the branch and keep the RPMs very high for it to be able to cut through the branch. Works well, but it's technique that I'm lacking. It's normally you cut a wedge cut and a back cut when you're falling a tree, but on a large branch like that, I'm even slurring my words actually. I have a really bad headache. I got hit really hard there. So the reason I'm continuing this video is because, as I said earlier, I want you to learn something from what I've done. So one other rule I have is that if something feels wrong and your day is off, just stop. So that's what I'm doing. I've only got 3 or 4 branches on the ground, but now I'm starting to second guess myself. I have a bad headache. I'm not feeling well. So I'm just going to call it a day. I'm going to pack it up, put the tools away, and head back home for the day. Which sucks because it's a beautiful day and I could get a lot of work done. But I know that if I push ahead, I'm going to get hurt. So sometimes you just have to listen to your body and pay more attention. But I would like, as you're watching this video, if you have any sort of experience using these pole saws in how to properly cut the branch or the limb, because I'm just doing a top cut and it's breaking free and coming down. I'm wondering whether I should be trying to do some sort of bottom cut first, like a relief cut, and then cut at the top. I'm going to do a little bit more research before I use this again, because I've used this a couple times, and I've used my other pole saw a couple times on smaller branches. But these ones I'm cutting with this, because it's a chainsaw, it gives me the ability to cut a much larger limb, which is much heavier, which is much more dangerous.
Hey, so I'm out at the lot and I just wanted to interrupt for a second, and this is 3 days after the accident. And Sean actually was hurt a little bit worse than he had initially thought. So he's got a pretty good concussion, bad concussion, and has been in bed for the last 3 days with the blinds closed and in the dark. And yeah, he's pretty hurt. However, he did want to come and talk a little bit about some of the things he's learned about how to do things a little bit more safely and learn from the mistakes.
Hi guys. Yeah, I turned out to be hurt quite a bit worse. It went downhill over about the next hour, 2 hours after I actually got hit. So anyways, all that aside, I'm fine. I'll be okay. I get a little better every day. The sunglasses are on because the light is really hard on me right now, and my neck and back are really bad, and a constant headache and ringing in my ears. But other than that, I just wanted to... I have done a bunch of research actually lying in bed when I did feel like being able to look at a screen, and I wanted to mention a couple things that should have been common sense to me, but they weren't. So first of all, don't cut if you have to reach. I know that like I said, that's roughly a 14-foot pole saw, but if you're using it, you still need to be able to have distance to get back. So don't just cut straight up over your head. If it's too high for that pole, then use something else, right? The second thing, when cutting a huge limb, don't be afraid to cut it in sections to take some of the weight off of it. It didn't really, register with me because I've cut a few things before and they've just fallen straight down. But with something bigger, don't be afraid to start out farther in the limb and take sections of the limb off so that the smaller, lighter pieces fall to the ground. It's easier, more controlling. And third, really, is that, yes, I looked it up, and even the Husky dealer videos and stuff that I've watched recommend doing a relief cut into the bottom of the limb first, and then cutting from the top, as if you were falling a tree. So those are some things to keep in mind. And again, make sure you're wearing your safety equipment. That helmet, probably could have saved my life. I might not be here if I wasn't wearing it, to be honest. So anyways, thanks guys, and back to the video. So if you have any sort of suggestions, if you've ever used one before, on how you use it safely, please add the thoughts in the comments below, and I'll take a look. And we're going to do this in a 2-part. So this is part 1, and the next time we start out here with this pole saw, hopefully things go a lot better. But anyways, as I always say, thank you for watching the videos. I know this is an odd video, but I want to make sure it gets posted. I want you to see from me, learn from me, see my mistakes. And on behalf of Lisa and I, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day.